So I'm Shashank. I already had this introduction. I'm the third generation entrepreneur. I head Kanpur Plastipack. We are in the business of making bags. I love wildlife. I have a beautiful family. I'm committed to my friends and also to my family. These are some of the photographs that I clicked this year. So why these photographs? I don't know, it's going too fast. So why I love these photographs is because you see the specific features which are very, very deep. And all of these are very fierce species. Falcon is the fastest bird on earth. Eagle is the bird with the longest eyesight. And I love fierce species, and especially their very specific features. So I love embracing challenges. It keeps me awake every day. It keeps me motivated and inspired. I love to track the latest manufacturing trends. These days, Industry 4.0 and IoT is very, very close to my heart. I am most likely to build a new business division every year, and that's what I believe growth for me is. I believe that I serve God by creating value for the community. So that's all about me. So why am I here today? I'm here to share my experience about the uncertain times that we faced in the last couple of years. I truly believe that the most uncertain times are actually the most certain times. And the only certainty is that everything around us is uncertain. When we believe everything is external to us, it becomes extremely uncertain. But when we introspect within ourselves and see within ourselves, then everything becomes very certain. So if we cannot thrive during uncertain times, uncertain but certain, then one thing is for sure, that we cannot thrive in life. So everything around us is actually uncertain. So, this is what I actually learned from the last couple of years. An organization is actually standing on these 4 pillars. Pillar of trust. Why do I trust you? Why are you trusting me today when I'm speaking? So it's on trust. There is a purpose behind it. So having the clarity of the purpose. And of course, there is a culture. Culture is always the backbone of any organization. And definitely leadership that is sometimes underplayed and overplayed, but leadership is actually a pillar. It is not at the top, it is not at the bottom, it is actually a pillar. So I'm going to talk about each one of them. I hope this is visible. So trust comes out of the ability to fulfill promises. Last couple of years, the meaning of promises actually changed. When we go to a customer and we tell him that I will deliver a product to you tomorrow, we make a promise. But during COVID time, was it really possible? Was it feasible? Of course it was feasible. Of course it was possible. People did that. And that was the time to create that trust. That was the time to fulfill your promise. The promise towards your community, promise to your people, promise to your customers, promise to your suppliers, promise to all the stakeholders. That was really the time to fulfill your promise. I also believe that during these tough times, inspiring and motivating the team that is around us becomes extremely, extremely important, even more important than ever before. Why is that? Because it's like a snowballing effect. If you inspire or motivate one person, he goes and inspires another one, and so on. So it becomes like a snowball, and it's a momentum that takes over. This builds trust. And it's extremely, extremely important to have this momentum going on all the time, specifically during the most difficult times. Third one is probably the closest to my heart. This is, I believe, a zone that is out of comfort zone. For me today to do a TED talk is out of my comfort zone. I'm a very, very introvert person. I'm extremely social, but I'm an introvert person. What is mine is actually mine. I don't share it. So, but this is out of my comfort zone. And I also call it the zone of sufferance. Because if there are 5 people or 10 people or 15 people who suffer together, they can actually end up being the best friends forever or the biggest enemies forever. Because they go into a zone of sufferance where you get to experience each other's feelings, each other's past experiences, past lives. And that is really inspiring for me. So I'll share a couple of stories with that. I mean, all of us know Kapil Dev and 1983 World Cup. When they started, they were underdogs. Nobody believed that they could win. They suffered sledging, they suffered defeat after defeat. And that sufferance together made them realize that they could do something bigger. The leadership took over, and they became friends forever. If they wouldn't have suffered together, there was no way that they would have been friends forever. It was a World Cup, they would have won it, they would have enjoyed it, they would have remembered for 5 or 10 years, but it wouldn't have gone past a generation. We still talk about that team of 14 people together. That is very inspiring. That is because of the trust that they built in each other. Similarly, I mean, some of my friends are sitting here, and we went to a hiking trip in class 9th to Nag Tibba. I almost believed that I lost my life during that trip, but it actually made my life. I was meeting most of my friends for the first time, and we lost our way. There was no mobile, there was no communication. I got dehydrated. My face became blue, black, and pale. I can see the smile because you remember my face. And it was probably the most difficult time in my life. But I made friends for my life. I made friends forever because we suffered together. And pushing yourself out of the comfort zone and suffering together builds a trust that is beyond words, beyond feelings, beyond anything. It is something that cannot be explained. So another important pillar is being purpose-driven. And that purpose has to be definitely bigger than just making money for an organization. Because once you earn that money, that will not wake you up in the morning. So every day I wake up and I ask myself, why did I wake up today? Why will my team wake up today? So the purpose has to be beyond just money. And having that clarity in purpose really goes a very long way. Alignment of the team. This is something which is extremely important, and it is also very difficult. It's a very loosely used word, but aligning the team to that purpose and having a system to do that rhythm after rhythm, beat after beat, is what a purpose-driven organization does. This is a phrase, velocity is more important than speed. Speed is just speed, but velocity is speed in a particular direction. And if that speed is in the direction of the purpose, then there is absolutely no way that certain or uncertain times it doesn't make a difference. The organization will thrive. There can be hiccups, but it will thrive. Culture. So this is the backbone of any organization. And the biggest example that we have in front of us is Apple. Apple stands for innovation. It encourages innovation. It encourages failure. Steve Jobs did not invent the packing for Apple, which is revolutionary in its nature. He just gave the vision. But Apple had the culture of innovation, the culture to build something new, culture to create something that is unique. So having a culture that is unique to an organization is extremely important. So the brand promise is something like a purpose. The brand purpose has to be bigger than just that, okay, I'm going to sell a product to you at this price, at this quality. That is not a brand promise. When we use Coke, we say that Coke is the same way all around the world, except for McDonald's and Fountain Coke. But apart from that, Coke is exactly the same. That's the promise Coke does. If you are an athlete, you will have Nike shoes. So just the same way, if the brand promise is clear to each and every one in the organization, the culture will thrive. It will become the backbone. It is also very important that hiring the right people and setting a sieve and a filter that ensures that the value of the people that come into an organization and the organization are aligned. Otherwise, it's a loss for that candidate and also loss for the organization. Both lose. So a company who can hire people where the vibe of that person gets imbibed with the mission and vision of the organization will thrive. Competency standard, I mean, that's something each one of us has to make a choice. How much tolerance do we want to have on incompetence? So because it's actually very unfair to elite performers if there is a non-performer within the team. So I personally have zero tolerance to incompetence and people who do not try. But that's a choice that everyone has to make on what level of tolerance do we want to have that. Something that's worked very well at Kanpur Plastipack for us is agility. I believe in making decisions quick and fast, not necessarily perfect and right every time. Because in reality, there is nothing like a right decision. Decision is a decision. Right or wrong, time will tell. But it's important to take a decision. Okay, what do I have to wear? Let's just choose. Let's just not take 30 minutes to decide what do I need to wear. I mean, the purpose of a shirt is to protect me from the outside world. That's it. The purpose is not to please somebody. So when we complicate things, it takes a long time to decide. But if the purpose is clear, if the culture is clear, then it's very, very quick. So agility has really helped us. Last but not the least, leadership. I said that it's extremely underplayed or overplayed, but it's a very, very important pillar. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, business was all about doing it yourself. And then it evolved to delegating business. You would hire somebody and you could ask him to please carry on the business in this way. But now the time has come to design your business. You can choose how you want to run the business. What are the core values of your company? What is the purpose? What is the target group? What is the playground? Where do you want to sell? How do you want to sell? What do you want to make? What are the policies you want to put in place? What is right? What is wrong for the organization? And then align everybody else to that. So today, the business has become about designing your business rather than just doing it or delegating it to somebody. I believe for continuous improvement, it is extremely important to embrace the flaws, to own up to the flaws. The flaws within ourselves, the flaws within the team, flaws in the product, flaws in the process, flaws are around us all the time. It's just the ability to see it, to protect it, to own it, and then to embrace it. Only when we own flaws will we be able to embrace challenges. So, I mean, embracing the challenges come from embracing the flaws. Longevity. So this is not about being a leader long enough in an organization. That's not that. It's about leader remaining still relevant to the organization. And that can only come if a leader is readapting, recreating, adding value, learning, relearning, growing, having a beginner's mindset. Having a beginner's mindset is paramount. Beginner's mindset is when you go in and you look at something as if you don't know anything about it. And then with that eye, with that curiosity, you can actually move mountains. So having a longevity mindset is extremely important for leadership. So this is what I learned during the last couple of years. And then after all this, I had to make choices. I had to define the boundary. I had to define the perimeter that I want to be in. They can be ground rules, they can be policies, they can be the rules by which I live. And probably that's something that makes a person unique, the choices he makes. So moving on. So the choices that I made are that I would stick to gratitude and compassion. Just not towards myself, but towards my people, towards the people in the community, external, internal, both. Engaging with the people within the team goes a very, very long way. They get to understand the culture, they get to understand the vision, they own up decisions, and then the decision is theirs. It really, really goes a long way. It's all about engaging people in the organization. The more they engage they are, and that can only come if we are grateful to them, if we are compassionate towards them, their needs. Community. I mean, there is no success, there is no measure of success if one is successful and people around you are not successful. And being in India, being an Indian, and being in the place that I am today, GHS, it is extremely important that the community should thrive, and only then there is some success to an organization. So I am extremely, extremely selfish when I try to help people, because it helps me to keep grounded. And it's only for my selfish reasons that I help people, because it keeps me grounded. But that's what I said for myself. So I try to exceed standards for myself every day, so that I end up 300% above what I was last year. I don't know, that's my attempt. Whether it's 300% or 100% or 10%, I don't know. But at least I try to set standards for myself. Every day in the morning, I know my cash figure. I know where my money is. I know exactly how much do I need to pay, how much do I need to receive, and I try to protect my cash. I have decided that I will increase sales and revenues in existing business divisions by increasing the depth of my customers, by increasing the product portfolio. Also, increase revenues by adding more divisions. So that's a standard that I set for myself every year. The next one is extremely hard one, to respect each and everybody's truth. Because my truth, your truth are totally different. But it could be truth for every one of us. And to have that mindset, to be able not to just hear, but also to listen to the other person's truth, can change and go a very, very long way. But that's a standard that I've set for myself, and I keep trying to do that. I don't do it regularly, but I keep trying to do it. Act on my vision every day. Every day, whether I'm at the beach, or at a safari, or at a holiday, or I'm sick, it doesn't make a difference. I have to act on my vision every day. It's a rhythm that I cannot miss. It's like a breath that I cannot miss. If I keep doing this, I will keep moving. And keep moving will take me forward. Another important point is preserving the old. And often when we are growing, we forget to preserve the old. What has worked is extremely, extremely important to keep it to your heart and preserve it and keep doing it. And at the same time, launch new ideas, launch new initiatives that can be contemporary. So that is also something very important. Last couple of years has made us realize that the only wealth that we have is relationships. I never take out the time to thank my team at KPL, my friends, my family. I am what I am because of all of them. And it's the real wealth that I have. So, and of course, there are positive promoters, teachers, guides, people who are helping us without letting us know. It's extremely important to know them, because there is always somebody who's trying to help you, and more often than not, you don't know him. So look out for those people. They are the real positive promoters and influencers in life. I try to protect them to my heart, even more than my friends and family, because they are the real positive promoters. Self-discipline, this is a very, very tough one, because if you have to improve your discipline 1% every day, it's extremely, extremely hard. So I have decided to have good food, good sleep. I have decided to keep the right company, because a person is an average of the people around him. So it's extremely important to have the right company, to have a positive attitude even in the toughest times, and positive gratifications. This really helps. You don't see exercising routine or anything, that's why I'm so fat, but that is something that should be there. Another important factor in my life has been my customers. They are my guiding light. They define who I am, what my company is, they pay my salary. So they are always right. And they are the most important thing to me. So the customers are extremely important to me, and they are my guiding light. So to end this conversation, and thanking all of you for this opportunity to speak, this is my motto in life, that I believe in God, I believe in karma, I believe in taking personal responsibility. I don't postpone my dreams, I act on my dreams now. Because in life, the burden of life is not life. The burden of life is actually the dreams that you dream to life. So the burden in life is dreams, it's not to live. So that's my motto. Thank you.